tools. Let's up your web game. The easy peasy world of WordPress. Faster loading times and easy setup. VPS, the world of unlimited traffic. Keep up. Web hosting, a speedy, flexible world that gives you performance that grows with your projects. The cloud, no more clumsy on-site servers. With us, you scale your cloud server up in seconds. Big web tech for your business.
Alright, 18 drivers. Let me just check to see if everyone is in. Yes, we are. So, 12 minutes on the clock. Let's see what happens anytime we want. Alright then, qualifying. So it looks to me like it will be a wet really enters session. Reserve driver coming in last minute to cover off the recently departing Jake Ladd and Duck. A couple of reserves into, well, say a couple, 6 reserves, 7 reserves, something like that. Let's go through the list of those reserves. So Bradders and Apex are in the reserve one. That's his first time in the session, and generally listed itself. Then we go on to the Astros as well. He's reserving for the Alpine team today. Sarpelli and Brandon are both in the V-Carb as Cryptic stays in the Williams, Vixen stays in the Mercedes after B-Right and Maxi Block both have left their seats. Jeffy Boy reserving in today, and then obviously it's Roig and Impaco reserving for the Red Bull team today. As we have a Haas car on track, and that is Super Turbo. Let's go on board with I was going to say Dutchman, but he's San Marinian. There we go, San Marinian. We'll go with that. But it looks to me like it may just be a little bit of a wet weather today, as Turbo's struggling trying to find the grip around the circuit, as I have completely forgot to get the track map. But I have my other screen on today, so I can easily acquire said overlay thing. Okay. Why not work? Okay. So, Super Turbo on to the final stretch on his outlap to get underway on his first lap here in Brazil. Up to the line, DRS is not enabled during the wet as Super Turbo barrels it down into turn 1, takes a very wide line on the entry into the Senna S's down the hill and onto the next straight, as I am trying to pull up my track map, but my laptop is being silly and doesn't want me to do anything. Oh God, try to press these buttons. There we go. Hey! Actually, I kind of want that one. That one's got corner names. Does it have corners? Yes, it does. Wikipedia can't be sold. Oh, big whoop. So, Super Turbo down in towards turn 11, up the hill to turn 12. He's went purple sector 2, as that is standard for the first driver out on track. Up towards turn 13, round turn 14. And then obviously onto the main straight at turn 15. Where will Super Trouble get his lap? It's a 1:19.886. Let's go on board with, I think that may be Asters. It's not Alt 1. Oh no, unless it is Alt 1. Is it Alt 1? I don't think it is Alt 1. Aha! It's Shift 1. Aha! I have found out how to do things. Yippee! Okay, Red Bull, Paco. Not Paco. What about Jeffrey Boy in 16th? He's next, 15th. So it is Vixen up to the line next as Sarpelli goes pole position. What about Vixen? Vixen up to P1. Puts Nick up to P3. What about the other Ferrari? It looks to me like he's just starting a lap. Up next we have, I think that's Nathan. No, Nathan into the pit lane. Or coming out the pit lane. T starts his next flyer. What about big man Fantheris? It wasn't Fantheris, but his teammate of Paco, who went to P3 there. It was Banner Brandon in the V-Carb. Up next is the Aston Martin of, is that Bradders coming out to the lane? Yes it is, but he's on an out lap, so we'll go off board and try and find someone who is on a lap. And it is Sergio Silva coming up towards turn 15 now, as he approaches the line to finish his lap here in Sao Paulo, and it goes P8 with a 19.2. 1:19.2. So next up obviously is Super Trouble. He's a 10th up on his lap time. Does he go ahead of the Kick Sauber? No, he doesn't. Stays behind Sergio Silva. On board with Asters. Asters up to P2 in the Alpine. Great lap for the Alpine reserve. As that may be A-Fixer. Yes, it says A-Fixer up to the pit lane. He's in the pit lane, but that's a Red Bull. Oh, Fanthony is coming up to the line. And Fanthony jumps up on the pole position with a 1:16.709. And currently the Red Bull man on pole position for the sprint race that's coming up in just under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. As both Ferraris coming up to the line, as I just missed. Both of them go 1-2. Great teamwork there for the Ferrari team, but what about the McLaren team? As Tees jumps up to pole position. What about Nathan? Nathan doesn't improve, but it gave Tees that slipstream to make him get a 15.6. Paco up to P2 with a 15.863. What about Banter Brandon or Sarpelli? Sarpelli up. I don't think he was up on his lap time. I think he's just starting his next lap. What about A-Fixer? No, it's not A-Fixer next. It's Bradders up next. Bradders goes 8P8 with a 16.8. The Aston Martin reserve not letting anyone get away from him as he jumps up to P8. So he's right ahead of Vixen, but right behind Asters in that Alpine. As Super Turbo goes P13 in the Haas. As we do have a Kick Sauber coming up to the line. Is that Sergio Silva? No, it's not. It is Merckx. Merckx up to the line, jumps up to P12 behind both V-Carbs and ahead of A-Fixer and the Aston Martin. We'll go on board with someone else now. Let's see. Fanthony is into the pit lane. What about both Ferraris? Anyone on a lap? No. Any of the McLarens? What about T's on a lap? No. What about Nathan? Nathan is on a lap, so we'll go aboard with the league owner. F7R Nathan round turn 14 here in Brazil. Down towards turn 15. No DRS for the sprint race, or the sprint qualifying, as it is just completely drenched. But Nathan jumps up into P13, the bronze driver, doing as best as he can here. As we have that is a V-Carb into the pit lane, but that other V-Carb on track does gain time. Brandon up to P11, and his teammate jumps up to P6. As we have a Haas of Lexi doesn't get out of the top 15. Wow, that's unusual for Lexi. As the gold driver's currently behind his teammate of Super Turbo with a 17.876. Is that good enough for Lexi? Let's find out. We've only got 4 minutes and 14 seconds left of the qualifying session. Will anyone be improving? I am just going to make sure Nathan went live on the F7 channel. Yes, he has. Good, good. So it's good to see. I'm just going to do a quick little sound check as well. Is that just my headset? I think it's just my headset. It's pretty quiet. I got... how have I gotten that? How has that happened? Got a pot in the door head. Oh. It's funny because I should be subscribed to F7. Oh well. So it was teased to sit in a faster lap with a 1:15.4. What about the other cars. We got Banner Brandon into the pit lane. What about both Hasses? Currently 16 and 17. Lexi flies into the pit lane. That was very fast for Lexi. Is that, or could that be a penalty in the future, as it is time advantage? As we have the kick salver of Sergio Silva up next. Brandon, what do you mean? Nothing's wrong. It's too quiet. Right, let me turn up my mic. I'll turn up my mic. Right, so let's see who's on board. Who's next? Who's up next? We got an Alpine. I think that might be Aster's, the only Alpine on track today, as the Alpine team boss was couldn't find two drivers in plenty of time, so I just stuck Aster's in for today. But he doesn't improve. Well, he does improve his lap time by 5.6 of a second. What? Okay, something confusing me there. So we're going board with the boss man of F7R, Nathan. Is that's him touching the grass and enters? That's risky. That's risky, mate. I wouldn't risk it. Is he? I think that will be Nathan starting his first lap here in qualifying. Is let's see. So is it short quali after sprint? Yeah, basically. That's basically how it works, Brandon. It's 2 short qualifyings and then obviously the sprint race and the full race as well. So we got an Aston Martin coming up to the line next. That is Afexter starting his next lap here in Sao Paulo. What about the Red Bull drivers? We got Paco up to P2 at the moment. As his teammate suffering in P7. That's very low down for the Red Bull driver. His future is uncertain. As there was talk between me and Fanfinus. As I did say to Fanfinus if he wanted to come to McLaren, but yeah, that plan changed. That plan changed. But what about, let's see, Alpine, Red Bull, Williams? I would say Williams, but we got. I don't even know who's next up. It's a Ferrari, so Ferrari pits outlap. Okay. And there's a McLaren as well. That'll be Nathan holding up a huge train. Yeah. So Nathan up towards turn 13 and 14 here in Sao Paulo round. Turn 14 now, and then up towards turn 15 just before the line. As he darts into the pit lane to get off of his lap. What about, that is F1 Lexi, doesn't improve his lap time, but does have plenty of time to go again. Lexi down into turn 1 as he, well, hopefully he can improve. What about Paco? He's not next up to the line. It's Fanfinus, he's starting his next lap as well as Jeffy Boy. As Bradder's coming through sector 2. Afexer up to the line, 7 tenths gained, and he jumps up to P12. What about, that was not Banner Brandon, but it was Sarpelli. As he goes into turn 1 to start his next lap. As we have a Haas driver of, I believe that is Super Turbo in the Haas. F7R Super Turbo dodges, or I was going to say dodges into the pit lane, but no, he goes to the line and it's good enough for P13. What about, that is Sergio Silva up to the line, doesn't improve, but going again it looks to me. As we do have another car coming up to the line. Is that Bradders going P2? Great job from Bradders to get the Aston car up there for the championship, the Constructors' Championship, as Nick has invalidated his lap time, but he did go 8 tenths quicker that lap, and cannot go again. So, it looks to me like it's T's on pole position for the sprint race. Bradders P2, Paco P3 at the moment, and I say that, and Merck's up to the line next. So we'll go on board with the Kickstarter driver, as he darts it towards the start-finish straight, up to the line. Merck's goes P9 with a nice 16.6. And then obviously Sarpelli, or no, that was Banter Brandon going P6 in the V car. Up next is the Red Bull of Fanfinus, jumps it up to P6, but that's Jeffy Boy up to P3. Good show from the reserve driver, showing up some of the full time here. As Vixen on his final run, 5 tenths up, jumps it to only P10, where his teammate is currently P3. As we'll jump on board with the Aston Martin reserve of Afexter, who darts into the pit lane. What about Sergio Silva? The only driver next to go on to finish their lap. Sergio up to the line, stays 14th. Stays 18th. What about Super Turbo? He also stays 14th. As that is the end of the sprint qualifying. As T's and Bradders take the front row. Jeffy Boy, Paco on row 2. Sarpilli and Roy Capens in row 3. Fanthrinus and Asters. Row 4, Banter Brandon and Vexen take up row 5, P9, P10 for the two of them. Nick and Mercs take the 6th row, and I don't know who's next. Super Turbo and that is Cryptic taking up the 7th row. Nathan and Lexi taking up the 8th row, and Sergio Silva being the only one on the 9th row for the race. I say 9th row, but 18. No, I've done something. My math is not mathing right now. Oh well. So we'll just grab a couple of details before we get on to the sprint race, as we've just went through qualifying right there for the event. T's 1 point. I'll say 1 point, but he's 0.178 ahead of Bradders. Is further time away from Jeffy boy. So it's a top 3 from the Mercedes engines. I'm very pleased for that. As we head on to the sprint race, and it is absolutely chucking it down now. Sao Paulo, wow, did not expect this. As it may or may not look like it will be full wet conditions for this sprint race. As we get on in a moment's time. As I just want to check things, that's all. Oh no, I got my banana milk. Hold on. My strawberry milk. Careful. Alrighty, let's get on. I can't move my seat, it's stuck on something. I will. So the drivers have finished making their adjustments for the race, and these leads up towards turn 1 in turn 2, which is just generally the Senna S. I want to try this banana stuff because I've been drinking the strawberry stuff. I knew they did banana, but how did banana taste? Because banana good for electrolytes, but is banana milk even better for electrolytes? Because it takes 2 things that are good for electrolytes, milk and bananas. So, it's actually not bad. I still prefer my strawberry milk though. Anyways, we'll take this little bit of a short intermission to tell you about F7. If you guys are interested in joining such a great league for either racing or just having general fun, which our Monday Madness will provide, it's exclusive more Discord in the F7 Twitch chat. I don't know if Nathan saw anything out on TikTok, so that's best as I can get for now. So, F7 does race on a Sunday, 3 divisions there. That is your bronze, silver and gold, which starts at 10 AM for bronze, 12:30 for silver, and at 7 PM for the gold division. Next up, as I mentioned previously, we have a Monday Madness. Starts at 7 PM UK time. It basically just has a little bit of fun in the in the F1 world, where you can do random things, cockpit cam, no assists, no damage. No, I mean it's mainly just a fun thing. And then we move on to the division you are watching, which is our realistic division. That consists of team budget, driver salaries, and team bosses. As Tees and Sarpelli, both get disqualified from the formation lap for being too far outside of their grid box. As we wait for Sergio Silva to just roll up to it. It's almost lights out and away we go. Come on, give me a good camera. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights here in Sao Paulo. And it's lights out and away we go. It looks to me like Bradders gets a decent start on Tees, but Tees has left it up into turn 1. Paco gets an excellent start, and Jeffy Boy goes through side by side with Bradders. Still side by side coming through. The CNS is round turn 3 at Curva de Sol and onto the Reta Oposta. As I am going to try and name these as best I can, but I am no English expert, nor I am Portuguese. So Yeah. I'll probably leave that for Alvaro when he comes over for any time. But yes, it is Tease and Paco who are in P1 and 2. Bradders drops down to P3 and Jeffy Boy as well to P4. Royk and Fanthan is battling right behind them as well. We stay on board, but we got a little bit of inner team battle here between both Haas cars. Lexi and Super Turbo both fighting it through turn 8, 9 and then down around turn 10 as we speak. Could have asked me for classes. Maybe I'll consider taking your offer up, Alvaro. As on the exit, Mercs and I think that may be Lexi battling it out, but it's not, as one of the Ferraris just almost went off the track there. I think that may be Nick, but it looks to me like Tease is walking away. Great setup for the Dutchman as he flies away from XD Paco in a Red Bull, by the way. Paco can easily get a podium in a V-Carb, as everyone is pretty much scared what he can do in a front-running team, but it doesn't look to me like it's much due to the lack of DRS. Tease can lead and win this sprint race here in Sao Paulo if he doesn't if he keeps that car out of the barriers. A little bit of movement behind the grid. Nick and Vixen both battling. A little bit of contact between the two drivers as we head around turn 3 and then down towards turn 4. As both drivers still side by side in towards turn 4 now. Later on the brakes goes A-Fixer side by side with Vixen on the exit in towards turn 5. And it's that is Vixen stays ahead of A-Fixer up the hill to turn 6 and 7. This map is upside down, so it's getting real difficult. You're all lucky Paco's been nerfed this week. Damn. To be fair, he's keeping up with Tease very, very nicely, so I can't complain. But another driver that's keeping up well with the grid is, I have to say, Asters. He's P8 right now, behind Banter Brandon in the V-Carb, which is just underneath Paco level, I would say. Paco would be a little bit higher than that. Currently, where we would be right now. The bloke is driving with one hand. Seriously? Oh wow. One-handed. How is he going to downshift? So T Smelly sets the fastest lap of the day here in Sao Paulo for the sprint race. As we have Lexi and I think that's that's Vixen side by side going through the Senna S's. As Lexi has to dip out a little bit there from the car ahead. Is now under pressure by the Aston Martin of A-Fixter. As we will go on board with someone else who's close-ish. As that's E, Cryptic and Mercs both battling. What is a shaky camera angle? Oh, and there's a little bit of contact between him and Mercs coming through turn 4. As Mercs is now side by side with the league owner. I wouldn't want to cause an incident there, mate. So round turn 6 and then towards turn 7, Mercs backs out, lets Sarpilli and Nathan. Sarpilli, wait, what? What happened to him? He's just dipped all the way down to the back of the grid. What's happened? Can you tell Royk to spin? Okay, I'll go on board with him. Royk, spin. I'm all joking, guys. I'm all joking. So, Sarpelli does lose out on a lot of positions during the sprint race here in Sao Paulo. As Nathan up into P15. A little bit of a slight exit there for the Englishman. As we head out of turn 12 and towards turn 13. T Smith's another fastest lap. My God. The McLaren Dutchman, the Dutchy McLaren, the Papaya Dutchy, the Dutch Papaya. I don't want to call them anything else but that, but why not? Why is this? Why is it that the helicam is so shaky? What is happening? Can Banana initiate commentator's curse, please? Nimble, all I'm going to say is you should have been here when it was Monaco, because it was a lot more funnier, because they would just constantly keep DNFing. I had Paco DNF like at the end of the Grand Prix. I had Lewis DNF at the end of the Grand Prix. Such a crazy race. Commentator's curse was just real in that race. As A-Fixer going for the move on Lexi as we head in towards turn 8 and then towards turn 9. As A-Fixer in the Aston Martin, the reserve driver from Williams, is stepping up and trying to prove himself here in F7 Realistic, proving himself to get a full-time seat for next season. His contracts will be being made towards the end of the season with only about 4 races left of the season. Anything's up for game unless it's McLaren, because we already have both of our drivers spoken for. It's Paco that sets the fastest lap this time. as he catches up to Tease in towards the Senna S's, only separating by a few hundredths of a second. Not hundreds, tenths, there we go. Tenths of a second. Commentator didn't work from me. True, man. True, man. Let's see if there's anyone battling on a track. A fixture only a couple tenths away from Lexi's rear end of his NASCAR as we head down towards turn 4. Let's see if there's anyone going to go for a move. Even though DRS isn't enabled, it's Aster's that gets a 3-second. Very squirrely going through turn 5 and 6. Oh, wow. It's a very sketchy corner, I'd have to say, for Aster's. He may have a little bit of brown for the mechanics to clean up later on in this race. As we head in towards turn 9 and then in towards turn 10, which this is 9 and then next is 10. It's a very calm, collected sprint race. It's full wet. No, it's a good mixed condition race because sprint race wet, and then we've got dry-ish qualifying, and then a dry race. Well, I'll say overcast race, as it currently is in Brazil. So Paco does set another fastest lap, lap 6 of 12. As that might be a move opening up for Bradders and Roy Capens, who's up to P3. When did this happen? I completely blanked on this. As the Ferrari currently keeping ahead of the Aston Martin driver. Bradders struggling for grip. Nathan through on Cryptic down the main straight as Merckx and I think Sergio. No, that's Sergio that's struggling really bad in the kick Sauber. 4.6 behind his own teammate. Another thing, Merckx is a really good driver as well. I'm surprised he's that low. Maybe the kick Sauber just doesn't like the rain. Interesting. Anyone going for a move? No. We're all just sitting back and chilling. Fun. How fun. Ooh, that was close. Bradders and Royk there just jumped on board at the right time. Trying to get a broadcast. There we go. These three cars are really close together, so I'm going to keep an eye on this battle for a little bit. As currently the only other battles that are on track is like P15, 16, 17. As Tease does set the next fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Paco's lost a lot of time to the Dutchman. As he's currently out. Well, I would say he's currently out of DRS, but there's no DRS, so it could be interesting. Bradders and Roy taking each other out would be the dream. I disagree, especially with Bradders being one of my drivers. Yeah. Oh, Jeffrey White and Bradders going side by side through this turn 3. Could be spicy. Let's stay on board with these two drivers as we head down towards turn 4 as Jeffrey White head into the apex. As Bradders goes through the switchback, does a little bit of contact with the Mercedes, going through turn 4 and in towards turn 5, up the hill. Once again, Bradders does get the position, but there was a little bit of contact as we head up towards turn 6, in towards turn 7 now, and dropping it in towards turn 8, and that's the fight over. We'll go on board with a little bit of people from behind. It's Nathan and Cryptic battling out of turns 4 and 5. There's still no battling between these two. But Tease is flying away. This is what I want to see from this Dutchman. Is I honestly, as much as I like having Tease as a driver, it's difficult when they just don't drive. No, I mean it's been difficult for the past couple weeks now that a lot of my drivers have dipped and can't race. As Fantinus and Bradders and Banter Brandon, all these three drivers fighting it up to the line, but I think that was Fantinus getting through on both drivers. Banter Brandon. Wait, actually no, that was Brandon Bradders that lost possessions because he was fighting Jeffy not long ago. So what's happened between they two? Sarpelli and Super Turbo battling it on towards turn 1. The V Cup ahead of the Haas driver, the gold driver action. Head down in towards turn 2 and 3 in towards. Oh, that was very close from Super Turbo there. He almost rear-ended the V carb there. Not the best idea to do in the rain. Bradders lost his end plate off the track. He goes as he tries to catch up to Nick ahead. Still not much battling going on, but it is XD Paco very close to the back of the McLaren driver of Tease. As we head in towards turn 11 and 12? Yeah. Turn 11, 12 and then in towards turn 13 on the exit 12. As we head back up towards the start-finish straight. Lap 8 of 12 for the sprint race. As Paco seems to be getting a little bit closer every lap. 2 T's, 7.72 separate these two drivers. Let's have a look at their details. Is not that detailed, this detail. There we go. Is Paco only 27% battery, but T's has been saving 57% for the McLaren driver. As he sets to be making such a great race today. Jeffrey Boy and Fanfin is battling in through turn 2 and 3. Fanfin backs out into turn 2, giving the place back to Jeffrey Boy. Is taking it up to P4. Yeah, it's a good result for the Mercedes team, especially if they're fighting for the constructors midfield. As we have Merckx and AE Cryptic battling it, but not much is happening. Asters and Vixen swapping places. Asters losing positions as this race goes on. AE Cryptic on the back of Merckx. Will the Williams driver try and get through the kick Sauber in towards turn 4? Let's stay on board. Is entering turn 4 now. The Williams driver stays behind Merckx, but in towards turn 5, still nothing. Bradders and Vixen, that's Vixen now ahead of the Aston Martin driver who has wing damage. Bradders still hugging him right in the inside of turn 9. On the exit, it's Vixen on the inside for turn 10. As into the braking zone we go. Oh, these are horrible camera angles, guys. As Asters, through goes Asters ahead of the Aston Martin. On the back of the Mercedes driver now as we head up the hill to turn 12. Through turn 12, up towards turn 13. There's not much battling at the moment, but we'll go on board with a couple of other drivers. What about this little pack here? 4 to 8. 4 to 7 actually. Is Paco with a 3-second time penalty? Oh no! Tease is flown away with this now. If he just doesn't let Paco overtake, he's won this. As we head downwards turn 2, it's Brandon. There's a lot. Oh wow, there's a lot of battling on the end of the sprint race. As Vixen, Asters on the exit turn 2, both side by side. Branders, Lexi side by side now. As Afixer looks at this fight and be like, I want to be in that. I want to fight. Oh, Branders had a huge collision with the Haas driver. As the Haas driver cuts over to absolute block him going into the braking zone. Round turn 4 in towards turn 5. Bradders doesn't have that wing, remember, so both Aston Martins will not be scoring points here in the sprint race, as neither the Alpine or Haas teams will. But both Mercedes into the points. Only one V-Carb, 2 Ferraris, 1 McLaren, and both Red Bulls in the points. Asters ahead of, Afixter ahead of Bradders. As his teammates currently struggling like hell with that broken damage. Well, that's a very damaged wing there the Aston Martin reserve has, as that's Paco and Tease on the back of each other. As we head down towards turn 1, Paco using a lot more battery than Tease. Tease only 35%, but Paco 23. Now he's charging up that battery, trying to get the overtake on the McLaren driver. As we'll go look a little bit further back. What about this battle? Nobody seems to be overtaking into turn 1. Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, all battling it out for a P4 finish. Roy Capen's up to P3, but that his teammate got a 3-second time penalty, pushing him behind Brandon. As he will possibly be finishing P7. Brandon could be finishing P6. As it's only lap 11 of 12. Next time around is the final lap of the Grand Prix. Paco on the back of the the McLaren driver of Tease. As we head in towards turn 11, turn 10, then 11, there we go. In towards turn 11 now at, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. I'm not going to pronounce any track names here. Alright, around turn 12. And back up the hill to start the next lap. And the final lap here in Sao Paulo. The sprint race is almost over. And we're on to main event qualifying and the main event race. As T's deploying as much battery as he can down the straight, over the line. T's with 5%. What about Paco? He's charging already. In towards turn 1. As T's, oh, that's a little bit of a switchback coming from the Red Bull driver on the side of the McLaren. As we head around turn 3, it's still T's ahead of the Red Bull. T's goes for the inner side line. Doesn't give the Red Bull DRS or ERS. I say DRS, but there's no DRS under the rain. Is Jeffrey Boy and Fanfin is battling it through turn 1, 2 and 3 at the ZS's. We'll stay on board with this mega fight that's happening. T's 5%. No, that's Paco. T's with 13%. Who will come out on top in the end stint of the Grand Prix? We'll go on board with this fight actually. As Fanthus and Jeffy Boy side by side through turn 3 and 4, and then possibly even turn 5. Up the hill towards turn 6 now, still side by side with the Red Bull driver. As Jeffy Boy goes round the outside, trying to hug that car. A little bit of contact with the Red Bull driver. Both go off, and through goes Nick. Come on, Nick, go through. Oh, come on, make me see it. As Nick backs out, stays behind the Mercedes driver and the Red Bull driver. Fanthus up to P4 as teammate right behind T's. Through turn 13 now, up towards turn 14 and 15. It looks to me like it's T's and McLaren who win here in the sprint race of Sao Paulo. We'll go on board with the fight for P4. Fanthus, Jeffy Boy, Nick, all in this battle for this possession. Fanthus leads it, but here comes Jeffy Boy. He doesn't have much battery as Fanthus. Up to the line, it's Fanthus. Jeffy, Nick drops down possession because of his time penalty. Banter Brandon up to P6. Nick 7th. Asters up to the line, drops down. It's Vixen, Lexi, then Asters, A-Fixer and Bradders both not scoring points here in the sprint race. Sarpelli from a good position in the qualifying drops all the way down towards turn P13, which was really unfortunate for the V-Carb team. As Super Triple comes over to finish P14, Mercs, Nathan, Cryptic, and then Sergio Silva finishes the grid. It says they got Lexi to get driver of the day, but we'll decide. We shall decide. So, as I said, Tees takes the win, the sprint race win here in Sao Paulo. XD Paco alongside him in P2. Wicked Benz P3, Fanthus P4, Jeffy Boy P5, Brandon P6, Nick in P7, Vixen P8, Lexi P9, and Asters P10. Let me just quickly grab the information for Nathan. Is moving on, AFX at P11, Bradders P12, Sarpilli in P13, Super Triple P14, Mercs P15, Nathan down in P16, Cryptic P17, and Sergio Silva in P18. So, on to the qualifying session. It is currently set for wet to overcast. So I don't know if it's softs or if it's inters for the start, and then we go on to softs later on, obviously. So it looks to me like it's inters for the start. Okay. Just getting a little bit of message from Red. Hopefully everything's alright, Dennis. It's a shame you couldn't attend today with the... unfortunately. I'm going to miss you, mate. We're going to miss you in this Brazil race. It's absolutely going to be carnage. That's Vixen getting really wide out in turn 4 there. My voice is already going. It's only halfway through this session, like, God's sake. Oh, I don't want to continue. Nathan! Come to comms. Wow. I don't know how people can drink banana milk. It just doesn't taste right. Oh. Funny little gag as well. I'm banana. I'm drinking banana. I'm drinking banana. Oh god, I don't know what I think of that. So we'll stay on board with Vixen. He is the first driver on track and will be the first one to cross the line. As he's currently on his outlap, coming up to the start-finish line as he darts it into the pit lane. Interesting. Oh right, yeah, his qualifying ban. I forgot that. I generally forgot about it. I need to tell Cryptic because Cryptic's supposed to as well. No, it's crud. How did you get a penalty? What happened? Or do you mean by your grid penalty? Obviously from the engine. Okay, good. So Cryptic is also into the pit lane. Will he retire as well, hopefully? Yes? No, I new penalty, right, okay, good. Because I was going to say, if you've got like a random 5-second time penalty, not good. Yeah, Cryptic retires as well. So it will be the next driver, which is Bradders up next. Ooh. Unless it's not Bradders, unless it's actually somebody else. Nah, he's on an out lap, so it's somebody else. Mercs? No. Sergio? Yeah, Sergio in it. Unless, yeah, Sergio. So, Sergio Silva, round turn 14 up towards turn 15. The final straight here in Sao Paulo. What time does he set? He sets at 118.3. Asters, 117.5. Let's go on board with one of the V-Carbs. That's not Brandon, but it is Sarpelli. Goes P1. 116.8. We'll go on board with someone else. Let's see. Jeffy Boy on an outlap, and it will be then Bradders up next. No, it will be actually Afixer up next. As I am receiving mentions. Yippee. Nah, I don't feel like it. Nah, cool. So, Afixer rounds the final corner up to the line. Where does he go? He sets it onto. What the? That's unexpected. Jesus, that was definitely unexpected from Adam. It's a very good job from the Aston Martin drivers. 116.8 ahead of the V-Carb of Sarpelli. As we'll jump on board with the Aston Martin driver, teammate of Bradders, the reserve driver. Because my voice is definitely going. It's been a while since I've done comms. Oh god, how am I going to do PRL comms? Damn. So, Bradders up to the line. Where does he set his car? It's definitely ahead of his teammate of Afixer with a 16.0. Up next is the Ferrari man of, that is Nick, isn't it? Yes, it's Nick, but we got someone else coming up to the line. Asters goes P2. What about Sergio Silva? Where is he at the moment? He comes across the line, doesn't improve. Sarpelli has invalidated. As we'll jump on board with Jeffy Boy, the next driver up to the line. Bling. So, Jeffy Boy around the final corner and up to the line. He goes P3 behind the Alpine with a 16.4. Okay. Hi, Red. How was your day? Feel free to meet me in a VC, because I don't mind, kind of. Just name it Discord, just in case, because I might do some thingies. Right, who's up next? Nick. Yay! Wait, how are we on Q1 at 7:49? Because it's a sprint race, Red. Yeah, sprint race. So, Bradders does invalidate his lap and goes over the line, but what about Asters as the rain has stopped here in Sao Paulo? Fair enough, Red. Asters doesn't improve. What about Sergio Silva? Doesn't improve either. Neither does the V-Carb of Sarpelli. As that is T's on an outlap. Precious. Oof. I don't know what's... What do you mean you don't know what's going on? It's the qualifying session. It goes sprint qualifying, sprint race, qualifying, then race, Red. Oh, yellow flags in Sector 2. As, we'll stay on board with the McLaren driver of T's. As he's on his first lap of the day. Sets purple Sector 1 in towards turn 4. McLaren driver won the sprint race. As we head around turn 5, now up the hill towards turn 6. Could this be another lap to put the McLaren driver on pole position? As the rain has dried up. He's very slow at the moment, but he will be going on to softs very shortly, as no drivers have opted to risk it. Bradders 1:14.8. The time is definitely improving in Q1, the only qualifying session of today's Grand Prix. As T's rounds turn 11 in towards turn 12. It's purple sector 2 for the McLaren driver as he exits turn 13 now, and then up the hill to turn 14 and 15. And then obviously up to the line finally. No, he doesn't. He boxes instead. So Tees is going to go and stick on a fresh set of softs. So we're going board with someone else. That is actually Merckx on a lap on the inters as well. Nobody's onto the softs yet. They knew the forecast. I literally told them it would be an inter to dry qualifying. Why are we going out in inters? I'm not complaining. Merckx jumps up to P3. As we do have Super Turbo coming out to the line to start his next lap on the softs. Yeah! Why does it say inters? He's not set a lap. He should be on the inters. What? This is our realistic director, people. Huh. I'm confused. Why am I being targeted unless it's just red that's being targeted? As Paco jumps up to P1 with a 13.8. On the Inters tyre, but we'll stay on board with Super Turbo, as I think he's the only driver on them soft tyres. Actually, no, it's Brandon is on the soft tyres as well. Okay. Some people are coming out in softs. What? Oh, right, that makes sense. So a lot of people are on the soft. Wow. Poof the pens for all yous. I agree, Red. I agree. Just everyone except for the Mercedes family. I'm joking. Right, let's see. Who's up to next to the line? Let's see. Fantinus, yeah, he's next. But what about Sergio's on the lap? No, it's Merckx. Yeah. So it is the Haas driver of Super Turbo. The man on the softs. The man with a mission up to the line. The San Marino goes P3 behind Bradders on the inters. Oof. Is it dry enough is the real question. We have a Ferrari coming up now. Who's that? That is big old Nick. So we'll stay on board with the Ferrari man of Nick as he gives his arch rival a little bit of a tow. That's not Fantinus, that's actually Paco behind him. But Nick goes pole position with a 12.8 as Paco enters the pit lane. Super Turbo doesn't improve. Who else improved there? I swear somebody across the line there. I don't know. Somebody improved. So Banter Brandon on his lap on the soft tyres. Up to the line, Banter Brandon goes. Where is he going to put it? It is P1. Wow. 1:12.208 for Banter Brandon. It's a great lap from the V-Curb driver as the track does start to warm up towards the end of the session. It's only a mystery on who will be on pole position for the main event. Fantinus in through sector 3, 14 now, and then through turn 15. As the Red Bull driver up to the line, jumps up ahead of Paco with a 10.9, 2 seconds faster than than Banter Brandon. Interesting. Who's up next? That will be Lexi. Let's see. Lexi on a lap. He's starting it. What about Nathan? He's in the pit lane. T's up to the line. Didn't improve? I don't know. Something. Nick. Yeah. There's a car spun. Who spun? Who spun it? Fan? Who spun it? Separately? Yeah, it's Sap. Okay. Fair enough. He's going to try and give his teammate a little bit of slipstream, I think. Oh no, he's missed it. He was going to go and give Banter Brandon a little bit of slipstream, but he missed it. So Rocky Pens goes pole position with an 1:08.784. So the time are definitely ramping. Jeffy Boy jumps it to P2. What about Banter Brandon into the pit lane? Sarpelli up to the line, doesn't improve, he's invalidated. What about Asters? He is also starting a lap. We've got Paco or Fantinus up next. Okay, so he's in the pit lane. What about Merckx? Merckx up to the line, he's starting his next lap. F1 Lexi, the Haas driver, on a lap. Where is he going to put it? It is pole position for F1 Lexi at the moment. Next up is Tease, but he has invalidated his rule. That's not good, Tease. Why don't you just box? What? Okay, I'm not gonna complain that. Someone get this Lexi kid out of here. Damn, that's cold. Don't diss this man. This man do credible things. Don't diss this man. So we'll get a Ferrari coming up to the final sector. Now it is Roy Capens, but it seems to me like he's not on a lap. Yeah, he's not on a lap, so we'll go off board and try and find someone who is on a lap. That looks to me like it is Sarpelli, but he's also invalidated it once again. That is Aster's on a lap. Yeah, he's 6 seconds up on his lap time apparently. This game's not making sense. Hey, if Paco can do it, assist their team, so does Lexi. Fair enough. So Asters jumps up to pole position instead with a 108.0. Yeah, but Lexi isn't real. Yeah, clearly. Bro's just a figment of my imagination. So Merckx goes P4 behind the Ferrari man. What about his teammate of Sergio Silva up to the line? Sergio, where does he put his kick Sauber? It's not far off of his teammate's time. That Tease goes fastest with his 0.75 unused. Absolutely amazing lap from the McLaren driver. Great quality, man. This is a great qualifying. I don't know what to think about this. 1:16, a 1:07. This is the biggest time gap I've seen in a qualifying session. Oh my! With 4 minutes left on the timer, who will be on pole position? As I am getting messages from Salute to play game, or him playing game. I need to turn off my Steam notifications. I really do. It's so easy to forget to do them. As Sarpelli into the pit lane, he does not improve his position nor his time. As what about Asters into the pit lane as well? The Alpine driver currently sitting in P2. And then we've got a couple of Kick Sauber drivers coming up next. The pairing of Merckx and Sergio Silva. As both drivers into the pit lane, as well as Tease, hopefully, as Nathan still hasn't left the pit lane. Still hasn't left the pit lane. Nathan, what you doing? Do a lap. I don't want you screwing your only lap. I'm going to laugh if Nathan screws it. I'm going to laugh. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, Bradders was disqualified. How? How did Bradders get disqualified? McLaren's coffees is good. I agree. Damn, that's just disrespect, Tease. Oh no, that was Tease. Oh, that was Nathan coming out of the pit lane. Nathan's just like, yeah, you're just going to wait there and let me out. Thank you. Damn. Karen just apparently built different, I agree. Nathan P15, P1, mate, watch it. Go on, Nathan, prove it. Prove you're good. Prove you're the best. Alright. Hi, Adam. Here we go, everyone's coming out of the pit lane now as we stay on board with the owner of F7. As around the final couple of corners we go for him to start his first lap. As I'm not going to accept that, Adam. You're going to be like that, I'll just time you or something. So Nathan, downwards turn 1. The McLaren reserve driver hopes to get a good qualifying here as he does have traffic on the exit of the pit lane. As we head round turn 3 now, the McLaren reserve driver of Nathan, the league owner, has a couple of cars ahead of him, but they seem to get away from him. Oh my god, Nathan went purple sector 1. Go on, Nathan. Go. Set up an absolute amazing lap here in Sao Paulo for me. My god, purple sector 1. Aye, that's what I'm saying. Come on, Nathan. Destroy Tease's time. Honestly, if he does it, that's going to be incredible. Nathan on pole position for the main event. Come on, Nathan, you got it, mate. Don't invalidate. So we head around turn 11, downwards turn 12, and then up the hill to turn 12, sorry. As through turn 12 we go up towards turn 13, 14, and then in the final corner of 15, Nathan deploys his battery. Let's see, he's went purple sector 2. Nathan up to the line. Where does he put it? It is! Oh, yeah, I was going to say pole position, but it's P4 for Nathan. Oh, wow, what a good lap that was from Nathan. What, almost a second. Less than a second off a tease. That's crazy great lap. Absolutely amazing. Fake game, how is he not pole? I agree. This game is stupid. I still don't understand how Bradders has disqualified himself. Don't know how he's done that. Adam, to answer your question, I'm doing comms. Clearly. Right, let's see. Ah, God, it's everyone's everywhere. I don't know who's on a lap. Who's on a lap? You're on a lap. Brandon up to the line. Goes P3 ahead of Lexi. Aston Martin driver of A-Fixer, who's currently P14. He jumps into P9. Ferrari man of Nick up to the line. Jumps into P4. Haas driver of Lexi stays P5. What about his teammate of Super Turbo up to the line? Super Turbo goes P6 behind his own teammate. It's next up is Sergio Silva. He's 8 tenths up on his lap time right now, and he does not improve his position. But it's Paco who takes pole position temporarily. As Fantheris does not get a good lap in, starts P14. Rug P2 currently. Brandon, Sarpelli up to P6. What about Tease? He's getting slipstream from Nathan. Oh, but he's invalidated. No. Oh no, Tease is invalidated and he starts P3. Merckx over the line. He only is good enough for P10. Jeffy Boy up to P7. As Brandon, the only one left on a lap. He's not improving. No, neither is A-Fixter. No, A-Fixter is up on a lap. Let's stay on board with the Aston Martin driver. DRS enabled for the only time this qualifying session. The only qualifying that we've had DRS. And across the line that goes only P12. As I'm straining my voice now. When you're in Walsall. Don't know. Maybe after, like, maybe 2025. Maybe. So that is the end of qualifying. As Paco takes P1, Rocky Penn's P2, T's P3, and Astor's in P4. The Alpine driver surprisingly got good pace in the car. As he does line up P4. I still don't understand how Bradders disqualified himself. Still don't understand. So as I said, Paco lines up on pole position. It's a Dutchman 1-2. Is oh no, it's a Dutchman 1, 2, and 3. I forgot Tease as a Dutchman as well. Astor's P4, Brandon P5, Sarpelli P6, Jeffy Boy P7, Nick P8, Lexi P9, Super Troll P10, Merckx P11, A-Fixter P12, Nathan P13, Sergio P14, Fanthers P15, Cryptic P16, Vixen in P17, Bradders in P18. We just need to grab a little bit of this. There we go. I've got 0 rear grip, but the front hook's done. That's maybe just your setup, mate. Come on. Oh, and it's a very dry race here in the actual Grand Prix. Interesting. Totally wasn't planned. I need to charge this. It's almost dead. So just actually, is this one charged? Please tell me this one's charged, because that'll be amazing. Kind of. Yeah, but let's see what TikTok's saying. Let's jump onto the F7 TikTok for a second. Let's see what everyone's saying in chat. If you guys are interested in joining Formula 7 Racing, ! Discord in the Twitch chat. So let's go over to F7. Aha, so I am live on F7 Twitch. TikTok. Yippee. 3,000 likes. Wow. Go on, sons. Come on. Great stuff to see. I'm going to add to that total. Just going to say you're in push buttons. You got the number 2 gifter badge? Damn. That's crazy. So, as the formation lap is underway, the drivers have got their setup and strategy ready for the Grand Prix. Tees lines up on P3, Aster's P4, but it's Paco who leads up to turn 1. As Red Wildfire subscribed for 18 months. Jeez, that's a long time, Red. But yeah, I would say thank you for the for the Prime, but that's on the F7 channel, not mine. I'm not complaining, but 18 months is a long time.
I'm gonna take that and put it with this. I'm gonna take this and put it with that. Take a step back, look at it.
I'm still pushing away on this screen. I got an ad! Adobe's added me. I have an Adobe ad. Damn. Oh, you know what it'll be? It's because Nathan isn't subscribed to himself. So Nathan isn't subscribed to himself on Twitch, so he's getting ads. What's up, Vixen? What happened? I really ignored my sub earlier. No, you didn't. Oh my god, no. Please tell me. Please tell me you didn't. Please tell me you didn't. Where? Where? Am I missing something? Okay, bye, Adam. Okay, you got me tripping, my G. It's just non-existent. I just see a ton of Aster saying okay. Yeah, I still don't see it. Well, Tease is lined up on the grid very quickly. And that's Nathan. How did Nathan get disqualified? What? You said you had 7 months on Red? Damn. 656 likes, I'll do. So as drivers are getting up to the grid boxes, it's almost lights out and away we go for the final time in Sao Paulo. As green flag's ready. And it's 3, 4, 5 lights here in Sao Paulo for the Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. It looks to me like the Ferrari man gets a great exit, but here comes Tease right behind Paco. As we head down towards turn 1, I've got no telemetry, there we go. I forgot the buttons. Alright, Tease into P3, fighting Roig for that P2's finish. Round turn 3 we go. Aster's battling with Banter Brandon on the exit of 3. As there was a little bit of no Mercedes, the Kick Sauber stepping out a little bit. Aster's remains in P4. What about behind them? Vixen, Merck switching places further down the order. Vixen from that engine penalty up a few positions already. As E, Cryptic and Sergio Silva both are at the back of the grid. 3 seconds separate him. Cryptic and Fanthonus. Fanthonus had a horrible start as well as Bradders up to P15. As Nathan and Afix are side by side. Round turn 9, still side by side on the exit. Great battle in between the two bronze drivers. As actually no, Afix is the silver. Never mind, my bad. As the bronze driver gets overtaken by the silver. As the McLaren is now behind the Aston Martin. Bradders further behind, battling it with the Kick Sauber of Merckx. Round turn 12 up towards turn 13. And Bradders stays ahead on towards Vixen now. He looks as we head on to lap 2 of 36. Paco has currently got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. As it is almost side by side between Merckx and Fanthonus in towards turn 1. Fanthonus thinks of going around the outside. Merckx down the inside on Fanthonus. Down the inside goes Fanthonus on turn 2. And ahead of the Kick Sauber on towards turn 3. As I'm getting a mention. And that is Roy Capens and Tease fighting it through turn 4. As Tease off the track he goes, gives the place back to Roy Capens on the exit turn 5. As Paco seems to be walking a little bit away from these two drivers as that's Royk around. Royk's off the track. He still has his wing intact, but he's off the track and all the way down into P15. The Ferrari team are not going to be pretty happy with that performance. He's battling it with Fanthonus. As I did say to Lewis, Fanthonus won't be scoring much points here in Sao Paulo, so he's only separated by 1 second. But Nick currently has the chance to take the lead of the actual championship as Nick defends his P6 spot against Super Triple and Sarpelli. As we head down towards turn 1, it's Sarpelli down the inside of Super Triple, but he doesn't get that space. Aster's up to P3 as on the back of the Dutchman of Tease down towards turn 4 as Aster's moves to the inside, around the inside of Tease. And it's Aster's up to P2, and now he chases down Paco, but here comes Tease wanting to get back ahead of the Alpine driver as we head around turn 6 and in towards turn 7 and 8. As the Alpine driver's putting up a great performance here in Sao Paulo. Really good performance, I would have to say. As he seems to be very, very, very eager to get a podium here. So hopefully he doesn't do a Roik and spin. As Paco does leave, just Paco's gone. 2.8 seconds separate these two drivers. Wow. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So we go on towards lap 4 as Tease goes for the move on Aster's. DRS open for the McLaren driver as there goes Banter Brandon thinking of going for the move on the Alpine driver as Tease tries to defend his spot ahead of the Alpine as he tries to make sure he doesn't pick up a warning or any penalties as DRS enabled for Aster's and Banter Brandon down towards turn 4. Both drivers don't make the overtake. Anyone behind them making the overtake. Let's have a look. We got a huge pack of cars here as Nathan doesn't let Vixen through, but Roy Capens goes right through on the Mercedes driver and then onto the back of the McLaren driver as they're going through turn 7 and now and towards turn 8. Sergio Silva 31 seconds off of AE Cryptic. That's miles behind the back of the grid. As these drivers are real close together. It's basically a DRS train through this full sector 2. As Roy Capens is right on the back of Nathan. He goes for the outside line round turn 11. But does it stick? No, it doesn't. Roy stays behind F7R Nathan. There's the F7R Lewis there, damn. As up the hill we go. That's Roy Capens on the side of Nathan now. Through they go. As Roy Capens does have that DRS as well as Nathan, but actually Roy doesn't have DRS. No, he doesn't. Never mind. He just didn't enable it. But here comes Fanthus on the McLaren driver, maybe even on the Ferrari. Nathan trying to go around the outside of the Red Bull driver, but we're all still in that single file line. Fanthus thinks about going around the outside, but has a switchback out of turn 3, side by side, DRS enabled for both Ferrari and the Red Bull. Down towards turn 4, and even further back it's Vixen and Merckx going side by side into turn 4 as well. But Fanthus stays ahead. Lexi off the track. What? Why is Lexi off? What? Lex? Why are you off the track? Lex? Care to explain? What? Okay. Pretty strange, I'm not going to lie. He is missing an end plate, so he's had a collision with someone. Is T's 3.5 behind Paco. Aster's with that DRS right behind the McLaren driver in towards the start-finish straight. The Alpine driver trying to catch up as best as can, but the V-carb of Banter Brandon right on the back of him. Bradders, Afex are further back the order. These two drivers are switching to places. Bradders with a little bit of wing damage. Down the inside goes on Super Turbo and is ahead going into turn 2. Bradders ahead of the Haas driver, but the Haas driver has DRS on him. As we head down towards turn 4, it's Super Turbo going onto a little bit of grass there, side by side with Fanthus and Afex are behind. As we head around turn 4, it's Fanthus and Bradders now. Fanthus pushed wide as the Aston Martin of Afexter. Bradders and Fanthus. Fanthus down the inside in towards turn 6 and 7. Still side by side. And it's Fanthus through on the Aston Martin, but still side by side going into the next corner of turn 8 and 9. Bradders doesn't want to give Fanthus this position, both missing the right end plate. Both battling it for that point position. As we head around turn 10. And in towards turn 11, Fanthus has that little bit of a gain ahead of the Aston Martin driver. As we head in towards turn 12, the Fanthus will have DRS on Super Turbo. Names are getting muddled up today, AP. But it's Nick and Jeff up next. As that's Fanthus, not Fanthus, Tease and Aster's just ahead of them. A little bit of contact between the two of them as Tease does give us a little bit of time. He's let the Alpine driver right back through as these 5 drivers all battling it for podium position. As we head down towards turn 4, Tease on the inside of the Alpine driver. Through goes Tease and Jeffy Boy sits behind them. Fanthus and Super Turbo. Turbo is now getting overtaken by the Red Bull driver as we head around turn 4. As Banter Brandon and that is Aster's, both drivers now. Aster side by side with the V-Carb driver round turn 8. And then towards turn 9, still got that inside line, Asters does, but there goes Nick, try to go around the outside, following the V-Carb line. Down the inside he goes, oh, there's a little bit of contact between two drivers as we head round turn 11. These two are still side by side, hopefully. Asters has the place, but there goes Jeffrey Boy on the inside of both of them, and he goes for a double overtake on the Alpine. The Alpine has a little bit of, oh, that's a huge slide into the side of Jeffrey Boy, and through goes Nick round the outside. Crazy driving round, oh my god. I'm losing my voice, damn. I got comms right after this as well. I can't lose my voice now. Jeffrey Boy back ahead of Nick in towards turn 1. As he might even get that place taken back. As Nick does have DRS on him, so we'll stay on board with the Ferrari driver as we head down towards turn 4. DRS enabled for the Ferrari. Goes for the inside line and through goes Nick ahead of the Mercedes driver into turn 4. As Brandon and Tees both battling at Asters, lost out in positions. Fanthins and Sarpelli both side by side through the sector 2 and 1 maybe. As we head up the hill to turn 7 and 6, maybe even turn 8 as well. Fanthins gives the place back to his V-Corp driver. Teammate, I would say, I don't know, something like that. As he chases down the V-Corp driver through turn 9 now. As we'll go back on board with a little bit from the guys ahead of us. Tees and Brandon both battling it still. As Paco seems to just be walking off with this totally. 5.9. It's a crazy gap between him and Tees. Tees doesn't have any damage on his wing, neither does Brandon. Brandon on the back of the McLaren driver. DRS enabled for the V-Carb. On the outside he goes. Tees doesn't have much in attack to push, and he sits behind the V-Carb driver into turn 1. What about further on behind them? Any more moves? We go side by side between Bradders and Super Turbo. Turbo has the inside line. A little bit of contact between 3 cars. Fanthins, Bradders and Roy all having a little bit of bumper action. As Super Turbo's in the middle of that. He doesn't want to get a little bit of contact between any of these drivers. Bradders still with that little bit of slight wing damage as well. Still side by side with the Haas driver on the outside. In towards turn 4. Doesn't give the space for Super Turbo to not cut the corner. As he's ahead of the Haas driver. Nathan ahead of Afixter, the McLaren driver, the McLaren reserve driver. Is first time outing in realistic, sticking to the back of Vixen P12, Roy Capens P11 and Super Turbo P10. Bradders a little bit ghosting there somehow. If somehow Bradders ghosting if ghosting's turned off. Good logic game. Very, very good. So what about Sarpelli and Fanthins? We'll stay on board with these two drivers. Fanthins doesn't have DRS, but the V-Carb does. And towards turn 14 and towards turn 15, Sarpelli has the inside line. DRS enabled for the V-Carb. As Tees gets ahead of Brandon in towards turn 1 we go now. Sarpelli ahead of Fanthins. Fanthins on the outside, push towards the grass. As J-Boy picks up 3-second time penalty. That's Roy Capens battling it out with Bradders. Bradders gains position in P9 for the Aston Martin driver. As that is Nathan picking up a 3-second time penalty as Jeffrey Boy on the back of Nick. My god, my voice is truly going. Yippee! Oh, it's in so much pain. I'm struggling to talk. Yay! 10 laps out of 30. Oh god. It's only been 10 laps. Really? I feel like it's been longer than that, right? Liam, don't play it. So Jeffrey Boy on the back, or I was going to say on the back of Nick, but he's got the place ahead of the Ferrari driver. As the Ferrari driver will easily get that back on DRS alone. So Astor's sitting P6 right behind him with that time penalty as well. As we head down the main straight now, DRS enabled for both cars behind Jeffrey Boy, which both cars do make the overtake on the Mercedes driver, but side by side into turn 1. Nick has the inside line. And Bradders comes up close but doesn't get anything done. Astor takes P5, but Jeffrey Boy has DRS on both cars. And we head in towards turn 4 now. Both drivers, Asters and Jeffrey Boy, have DRS. Jeffrey Boy inside the line for Asters. Down the inside goes Jeffrey Boy on the Alpine driver. A little bit of contact as Asters has a huge snap and gives the place to Jeffrey Boy. Further back is the V-Cup driver of Sarpelli and Fanthins. As we head up the hill, it's Sarpelli ahead of the Red Bull driver. As Liam will not be enjoying his day on track with his sister team battling with a championship contender. As Fanthins does score points here, he will be gaining that gap to about 5 points. But with Nick and P4, that could be a lot shorter. With Nick only being about 15 points behind Lewis W and Fantinus. I'm not going to have that type of language in chat, Liam. So, on to lap 12 we go. Nick staying ahead of Jeffy Boy, but T's on the back of Banton Brandon, as Brandon hoped to slow down T's for the Red Bull driver, which is cross-teaming, which is illegal. This is bringing some bad memories from season 7? Yeah, season 7. Some very bad memories. Let's see, anyone going to be battling? I really don't want to speak, but at the same time, my voice just wants to be heard. So, Vixen on the back of the Aston Martin of Bradders, the reserves. The reserve driver get under a lot of pressure from the Mercedes. Cross-teaming, he hasn't let him through. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, holding him up does the same thing. As Tease has DRS on Banter Brandon. Let's actually have a look at the two... where is it? There it is. So, Tease has 70%, Brandon only has 60%. Tease goes for the inside line, and down the inside goes the V-Carb driver. Is ahead of... I was going to... What? Okay, I'm losing my brain patience. My brain process or something, I don't know. As Vixen picks up a 3-second time penalty. The penalties are coming into play. Lap 13 of 36. The sprint race was only 12 laps, so this has been 25 laps here in Sao Paulo already, which is not including qualifying. As Fantinus... That V-Carb driver, whoa, what was that? Banner Brandon on the back of T's battling with the Mercedes McLaren driver. Pit stops, mate. Pub him. I think Ben has a point. You could just box Sarpelli. Either that or box Fanth. And you wouldn't have this problem. Lap 14 of 36. Brandon on the inside of T's. He's clearly well ahead of the McLaren driver into turn 1. As we'll go back a little bit and have a look at some drivers. What about this huge pack of cars? As the V-Carb driver down the inside on Fanton as he tags the Red Bull driver and round goes right. Oh wow! As Tease does lose, does gain the position ahead of Banner Brandon once again, but that was incredible stupid for Sarpelli for sending it like that. What are the stops, mate? What do you mean stops? Let's see. Stops. Sergio's the only one that stopped. No one else is boxed. And Sarpelli's on hards, okay. These guys have got me tripping, okay? But a little bit of diversity as Sarpelli is on them hard tyres, and the mediums will be dying very shortly, so keep an eye on that as we go on. Let's see if there's any moves happening. Look at Banner Brandon and Tease. Banner Brandon down the inside on the McLaren driver. What's happened then? How is there such a big gap? What have I missed? Alright, so it was originally Tease and Asters battling it for P2 and 3. Paco walked away for like a couple laps. 3 seconds was the gap, and then Asters had a slide. He dropped back. Speaking of slide, there goes Tease sliding all over the place. He dropped back down to where he is now, and then Banter Brandon took the place and started fighting Tease. So I don't know if there's foul play or I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't believe there is. I'm just saying. But yeah, I can't wait for these new rules to get in. True, Paco is Paco. Yeah, bro's a menace on track, and he's too quick. Especially in a Red Bull. Bro needs to drive like a kick Sauber or something. Which I don't think he will be able to next season because we're putting in some rules to prevent stuff like that. So hopefully that'll get checked through and yeah, he wins in V-Corp. Yeah, I know. It is We're watching this beautiful little battle between Super Turbo and Vixen as Brandon gets through ahead of Tease once again. Nice. You cannot ban Paco. So, old Bradders is out. Wait, what happened to Bradders? What? Oh, he's retired. Why? What? It just makes no sense. Why did he retire? What? Bro, I can't drive. What do you mean you can't drive? Jesus! Trubo, you've just completely cut the pit lane corner. That was a very obvious corner cut. 3-second time penalty, I would say. Oh, well. Oh, well. There's a huge gaggle of cars here fighting. Let's go on board with these guys. As we head around turn 10 and in towards turn 11, it's a Fixter who leads this group away from a Vixen. Actually, and then Sarpelli NP9. Phantoms has box as well as Roy, Super Turbo and Sergio Silva. Tease is in early to cover off the drivers behind him. Is followed by Nick, who gains a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That might have been because the driver behind him tagged him or something, so we may have an incident report coming up. And it's a good thing that it's happening in the pit lane, because he can't serve it as soon as you enter the pit lane. So T's out in the pit lane. Let's see where the Fanthonus will be at. Actually, Fanthonus is miles behind. Jesus, Fanthonus is not. Nah. T's and Cryptic on the exit though. That's interesting. Will the Williams driver bend for T's? No, he won't. He'll fight it. To be fair, he's on fresh, isn't he? Yeah, he is. No, he's on old. Okay. I would have let Tease through by now because he's on a faster car, faster driver as well. It's very questionable driving, but okay, I'm not complaining. Team orders, I would say. Just let the McLaren through. But ah well. Ah well. Let's see if we can try and find someone who is battling on track. I don't think there is much happening, actually. Yeah. It's a very quiet race. Now. I say that now, and it's going to be hectic in like 2 laps. Paco will win it, which I'm kind of hoping for. I wonder where T's will come out in all this, because Nathan's up to P6. Nathan, if you can hear me, play the ultimate team game. Oh, it's going to be close on the exit. Brandon and T's on the exit of the pit lane. And Brandon's ahead of the McLaren. Did T's get held up by Cryptic too much to make him lose that undercut? It's not cross-teaming if they're both in McLaren. If you're talking about T's and Cryptic, nah, that's a joke. I'm just saying, with a guy that's been out in so long, such like old tires, I would have just like let them out, like let them pass or something. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Liam, right? I don't have constant tabs on what my drivers do. I just say, here, do this, and I'll do it. Race. Nathan races. Tease goes on a date. So Vixen ahead of the V-Carb driver of Sarpelli as I hate that stream elements thing that keeps popping up in chat. That's one thing that's annoying. So yeah, Vixen ahead of the V-Carb driver in towards turn 4. The V-Carb does have DRS but doesn't make the overtake. As we'll go a little bit further back the grid. Let's see, Brandon and T's Brandon getting overtaken by the McLaren driver. Where's Nathan in all this? Nathan's chilling behind these drivers, which is actually good. He's keeping up with them as well. 18 lap on the medium tires, which is that's actually really impressive. Really impressive if you think about it, because the hard tires will be really fresh and kind of a way compared to Nathan's 18 laps mediums. Wait, what? Nathan box lap 1? What? I'm tripping or something. I'm tripped or something, I don't know. So, DRS enabled for the McLaren driver on the back, and as we say that, it's Vixen and Sarpelli battling it in towards turn 1. Still have 0 championships, he's not crossed the line. Damn. What was that? Cryptic into the pit lane finally, 19 laps on them hard tyres. Is he going to go into the mediums for the next 16? Yeah, I think so. I think the shout here for Vixen is just to stay out as long as possible on them medium, on them hards, and then box for softs. But at the same time, softs are not that good around this track, so I'd probably just box for mediums now. Fantasy ahead of Roy Capens and currently in P10. Oh, there goes Nathan giving the position to his teammate, but does he get in the way? Oh, Banter Brandon to help his teammate. We'll see in a second as Banter Brandon round the outside on Nathan, but Nathan tries his best to keep Banter Brandon behind as both drivers get through nice and well. As Nathan now has DRS on Banter Brandon, but he's getting nicked behind him as well. Jeffy Boy following, and Aster's not far behind. 2 seconds between Jeffy Boy and Aster's. As Nathan darts it into the pit lane to get off of them awful mediums and onto a very fresh set of hards. Yeah, hards. As Aster's up to P8 now. Vixen with another 3 second time penalty, and Tease actually has a penalty as well for 3 seconds. Vixen, 9 seconds, mate. What? Okay. Sarpelli and Vixen down the inside goes Vixen in towards turn 4 as the head of the V-Car driver on the exit of turn 4 and then head into turn 5. And that's a spin or something for Sarpelli. I think he's let both Tease and Banter Brandon through and has now got Nick on the back of him. Aphex or Super Turbo switching places behind them. Pretty further down the order. Both V-Cars 4-5 right now. But one of their drivers are fighting for possession with Tease and Vixen ahead. Very, very slow for the Mercedes driver, who's currently on a very old set of tyres and holding up Tease at the moment. 24 seconds to him and Paco. That's a crazy gap, especially with Paco being in the pit lane. Damn. As I have received a Discord notification. Yippee. I get a Discord notification and there's just nothing. Damn. That's that, okay. Alright, let's see. Banter Brandon on the back off Tease with DRS enabled, but he does not get ahead of the McLaren driver into turn 4. Tease stays ahead, but that 3 second with Tease is not going to help. Not in one bit. As my phone is saying, it is low. Yay. This is a very chill race. Very, very, very chilled. Sarpelli into the pit lane following Vixen. Almost rear ends the Mercedes driver. As Aster up to P6 once again. Sarpelli into the pit lane. Where does Vixen come out ahead? Yes, it is ahead of the V-Car driver. Merck's through on them at the moment. But it's a long pit lane, so they might catch up on the inside of the corners. And it is Merckx that's ahead of both Vixen and Sarpelli. Wow. I really don't like that helicam. It's so wiggly woggly and I don't know why. So Nathan comes up behind these two drivers. As we'll go back on board with the front runners as Paco is only 5 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of Tease. Is wanting to really get away from Banter Brandon now. That would very much help. Oh, Banter Brandon into the back of Tease in towards turn 1. Could that be a little bit of damage for Brandon's front wing? Rocky Prince gets ahead of Fantheris further back the order into turn 1, but DRS enabled for Brandon as we head down towards turn 4. Tease blocks him perfectly and remains ahead of VCAR driver. Lap 24 of 36. Jeffy Boy through on Nick as that'll be one of these drivers. Cryptic gets 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane and retires as well. There will be huge changes to this retiring in the pit lane. Fingers crossed for Adam point finish. Honestly, I see it happening. But Merckx is only 3.8 behind, and Adam has, what? 3 seconds? So yeah, 10 tenths, 8 tenths between the two of them. As Sergio Silva ahead of A Cryptic up to P15 for the Kicksab driver. As A Cryptic coming out the pit lane now as the currently out. Merckx and Vixen side by side through turn number 11 and up towards turn 12. Still side by side, and that's a little bit of contact. Sarpelli and Vixen and plus Merckx all have a collision. As Merckx, I don't think, got enough space there for Vixen. As he's had a huge incident there with the Mercedes driver Jeffy Boy fighting Nick through turn 4 and 5 now. Sarpelli gets a 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Does he retire as well? Yes, he does. What about Merckx? Does he retire? Does Merckx retire? Does Merckx retire? I don't think he does. I don't think he does. He's going into a fresh set of tyres. I'm surprised Sergio's still in this actually, because he's very off the pace. Wait a minute. Sergio, if you're watching stream, can you wiggle down the straight? Okay, that's definitely him. I was like, I'm just trying to figure out if it is him or not, because yeah. Who's that retired? Nah, it's just Sarpelli coming out of the pit lane. Oof. Getting the chinos. 3 second time penalty for Asters. He currently 6P6 at the moment. The only drivers do not have a time penalty is Paco, Brandon, and Fantheris plus Merckx. He's Afex are ahead of Super Turbo. He's up to P9 now. Come on, there's got to be something entertaining going on. 10 laps remain. Yippee. Got to go and do comms for Monaco. It's Monaco. To be fair, I'm probably just going to be chill for Monaco. Obviously, when there's like an overtake, yeah, I'll scream and shout and all that, but it's Monaco. There's not going to be much. It's going to be a very boring race. I'm just going to be as chill as Myth, I think, is probably what I'm going to be aiming for. As we head through turn 3 and it's teased back up to P2. But Brandon does need that 3 second time penalty for him to stay behind Tees. So, achoo. Just hand him 3 seconds. Oh, come on, Tees, you got him, man. You can get P2, mate. I wouldn't even be mad if he gets P2. Be mad if he gets P3. I'm joking. Top 3 is fine. Top 3 is fine. Very quiet race now. I'm going board with these two drivers, Brandon on the back of Tees with the RS. We head into towards turn 1. Tees puts up a great defense and stays ahead of Brandon, who has a huge snap and goes right over the curb, causing him possibly a warning. As we do go back onto another straight with DRS, but Tees remains ahead by only 0.4 of a second. Nick and Jeffy Boy side by side in towards turn 4. Nick gets the place ahead of a Mercedes driver in P5. As we go look further back, Afixer, Super Turbo and Vixen all battling in towards the straight with DRS enabled for Super Turbo and Vixen. Afixer has nothing in the tank, but he goes back onto the racing lane and defends beautifully against Super Turbo and Vixen behind with DRS. As we head out of turn 4 up the hill towards turn 6 and 7 now. As we're going to have a look for another battle. Let's see. This battle between Jeffy Boy and Nick. As they all head around turn 11 and 12 up the hill to 12. And run 12 we go, and out of 12 we go. That's 4 12s right there. And in towards turn 13 and then 14. Which then run turn 15, which is the final corner in Brazil. DRS enabled for Jeffy Boy. He has DRS side by side with Nick. Now he is going to be ahead into towards the braking zone. Nick not later on the brakes, gives the position to Jeffy Boy, stays behind the Mercedes driver. As Jeffy Boy up to P4 once again. Afixer, Super Turbo and Vixen going downwards turn 1. Still no moves for these drivers. Sergio Silva has been lapped. What about F7R Nathan? Is he coming up through into towards turn 1? He's on low fuel mode. Has Nathan underfueled the car? That would not be good. It will not be good indeed. I've got something in my eye. Not a lot of drivers left. This is gonna be like, this is gonna be worse than, it's gonna be good. This Monaco's gonna be worse. Monaco's gonna be worse. Oh god. Why did I agree to do Monaco? Ah well. It's done and dusted with 20 quid to 20 quid. So, Jeffy Boy on the back of the Freud of Nick. Let's see, DRS enabled for the Mercedes and the Alpine. As the Mercedes driver goes for the inside line. Through goes, and it's making it 3 wide into turn 1. There, through goes Asters. The Alpine driver up, and there goes Jeffy Boy round the outside in towards turn 2. Is this a bad camera angle? That's the wrong camera. There we go. That is an amazing overtake for Asters. 2 drivers into 1 corner, but he's under pressure by Nick once again in towards turn 4. Asters with the inside line, and it stays ahead of the Scarlet Ferrari behind them. As Jeffy Boy loses 2 positions in that one corner, which is so unfortunate. As we head up through, there's a little bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes driver. As Jeffy Boy really wanted to go up the inside and just tags the rear of Nick, causing him to upset the car. Just remember, chaps, that Nick is in our championship fight between him, Paco, and Lewis. Yeah, Paco? No, it's not Paco, it's Phantoms. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. As Tees and Brandon both battling it once again in towards turn 1 they go. As the idea, I think, Tees would be to recharge your battery if you want to get ahead of Brandon over the line. As further behind them, we got a little bit of battling between him, the man himself, Fanthras, and Roy Capens. Roy Capens ahead of the Red Bull driver, but with that 10-second time penalty, who knows? I don't think Paco is in a chance for winning the title, Liam. I'll check now. Because I remember seeing Nick P3, and I remember seeing either it was Paco or Julian. Yeah, Paco's 49 points behind with 3 races left. Yeah, he's going to be about that, yeah. I wouldn't say, 20 points. With Fanthras racing, and he's getting 2 points. No, not 2 points. 4 points. 194. Paco wins. You got P2 in the sprint race. That's 7 points. And then 25 on top of that. What puts it to 32. 32 points. So he'll be less than 20 points. Maybe. As Jeff Boy picks up a 3-second time penalty, Banter Brandon behind Tees, and this battle between Fanthras and Roy Capens still goes on. As DRS enabled for the Ferrari man trying to recover his race. As he could go for the move in towards turn 4 on lap 32, but it's not going to happen. as he stays behind. Let's go on board with the front runners. We've not been on board with Paco. Let's see how Paco's doing. He really wants to try and overtake Sergio. Damn. First Sergio, he's just driving. He's just enjoying life. Oh right, yeah, penalties. I forgot the pens. Let me actually pull the pens. 6, 6, 10. Yeah, Fanthonus could jump up to P5. Maybe P4 if Nick does. If he has to use that 10 seconds. So yeah, Fanthonus could really get good points here. As long as Roig doesn't hold him up, I feel like he'll be fine. Roig needs to get ahead of him and try and keep him away from the pack by like 6 seconds in 3 laps. Ooh, wow, that's a little bit late for moving for Roy Capens as we head in towards turn 1. But you also got to remember, Liam, there's always after race penalties. Always. To be fair, this race has been pretty clean. So I can't really complain. As Roy Capens does get ahead of Fanthonus in towards turn 4. As I have dropped something. Don't know what it was. So I guess bye-bye thing. As Super Turbo and a Fixer both swapping positions yet again. What about the group ahead of these drivers? There's F7. Okay, there we go. That's cool. F7 and F8. Smart. Fanth and Roig have just been DRS swapping all race and Paco has seen nobody. Yeah, that basically sums it up. Honestly, it sums it up. That and Banter Brandon and Tease have just been swapping like non-stop. Until lap 34 of 36. We've only got 3 laps remain here in Sao Paulo. And then it's, that's that. On to the next week. I can't wait for next week. I can't wait for the new season, man. I've got so much good ideas for realistic for next season. I can't wait, man. Budgets are coming back. Team principals are going to get a huge job role. Oh, it's going to be so much more just better. You know what I mean? I can't wait to win 3 in a row. I can't wait for Lewis to win 3 in a row, actually. I support Lewis. I don't support Fanth. I used to kind of, but he joined Red Bull. I'm just messing with you, Liam. I'm just messing with you. We all love you, Fanth. Don't worry. You're very loved in this community. And that's not a joke. So, on to lap 35 of 36. Who was on the pit lane? Who's in the pit lane? What? Did Roig box? Who's in the pit lane? Oh, it's Mercs. Okay. Like Banda. Who's still in this fight when he comes back? Yeah. Yeah, true. Oh, no, that's not good. Nick has dropped the position, so he's going to have to fight with Fanthonus now. Fanthonus caught up. Wow, okay. I didn't think Fanth would catch up that quickly, but okay. Okay, wow, that was ambitious from Roig. Wow, what a move from the other Ferrari man of Roy Capens on his own teammate as well. Mad disrespect, man. Your teammate's fighting for the championship, and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to overtake him. What's he going to do? Well, Ben did it before I was here, so true. But yeah, Ben has always been liked. Nobody can not like Ben. I say that. There's maybe a few people that might not like Ben. Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. It is Paco who leads by an astonishing 13 seconds from T's in P2. Banter Brandon in P3. As Visa Cash App will be happy to see him on top performance. As currently I was going to say they don't have another team, but Jack's in the other seat, isn't it? Jack's in the other seat. Asser's up to P4 ahead of Jeffy Boy, and it's Banter Brandon and T's both battling up the hill to turn 7 and 8 now. As Nick holding Fanth up, so Roig beats him. A nice Constructors title on your way. We'll see it. Oh, that's some great defending from Nick. He's pushed his teammate 1.3 ahead of himself. As he looks to just keep the points as best as he can. 1.8 is the gap. 1.9. Fanthenis is really wanting to get past. Paco comes across the line to win. I've completely missed that. Sorry, Paco. You're just that far ahead, mate. But yeah, Paco comes across the line and wins here in Sao Paulo. And it's a fight to the finish for both Tees and Banter Brandon. Tees takes it to P3. But it's Banter Brandon who takes P2. So it's a Red Bull family 1-2. I think that was a good battle, to be fair. As Rocky Penn's up to the line ahead of both Fantheris as well. Yes! Oh, wow, what an amazing race. Asters comes across the line to finish P6. Jeffy Boy P7, Nick P8. Vixen over the line to finish 10th. And a Fixer P9. Super Turbo up to the line P11. Nathan is on track still, and he will be finishing P12. And then both Kick Saubers 20 seconds behind. Wow. Wow. 20 seconds behind each other. 40 seconds off the pace. I have no words. That's crazy. So that is the end of today's Sao Paulo Grand Prix. I will not be doing interviews as I have comms literally right after this Grand Prix. So I will sum everything up, get everything posted, and we'll see you next week for Realistic around, let me just tell you real quick, Mexico. Nice. I like Mexico. Mexico's a nice track. Double Tick Salmon Turbo was called. Yeah. Paco does win here in Sao Paulo, very much celebrates that. And on towards the final results. So it's Paco, Banter Brandon, Tees, Roy, Fantheris, Asters, Jeffy, Nick, Afixter, Vixen, Super Turbo, Nathan, Mercs, Sergio, Sarpelli, Cryptic Brothers, and Lexi. That's a lot of penalties. Damn. So guys, that is the end of the Realistic Grand Prix here for Sao Paulo. I have been your host tonight, Banana, and I will see you next week for Mexico. Stay tuned to that, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.